Normally everything is two, like here and there and because and why. And this is saying, no, there's only one. When there's separation, like I'm here and there's the world and everything what's going on, everything seems solid and real. It's an appearance. That's crazy because we never ever questioned that everything is solid and real. There's no one. So there is no Rose. There are no answers. That's the joy, because there's nothing to understand. Non-duality means not two. Normally we live in two, like I am here and you, just me and you, or me and the world. Most of the time me and something else, because me seems like the center of everything. Everything's happening to me. And the awful thing in that way is that there's already no me. The belief that there's me is an illusion. It's not real. It's about loss, the loss of everything. Well, how can you do the loss of everything? It's a dream. It's all made up. It's not about the loss of control. It's about that it never was control.
Dear friend of philosophy, I'll welcome you to the Key Philosophy Quest. I am Dr. Hellmut Monz, and I invite you to join me on the quest of asking the key questions of philosophy. In this episode of the Key Philosophy Quest, I have philosophical questions for Rose Roes, also known as Rose. Rose is a speaker of non-duality from the Netherlands. She is the author of Wondrously Free, available in both Dutch and English. Rose does not only speak online in the World Wide Web, but also across Europe and the US. We met on the island Phu Quoc in Vietnam. Let's listen to what Rose has to say. So I have here a list of selected 12 questions.
Yeah,
Let's see what we can
right.
do with them. The first one, what appears to be true?
There is no truth. There is no truth. No, that's only in the story of me. When there's I am here and I'm someone and I'm looking for something that most of the time is looking for something that feels good and trying to avoid or get away from pain or feelings you don't like. So then you think like when there's going for something that feels good, that's more like the truth or like what's right. There's no right or wrong. That's the story. When there's me, there's a story of finding and trying to do, because there's living in time and so with like space, like distance here and there. It's duality, you could say. And this is talk about non-duality. So there's no two. Normally everything is two, like here and there and because and why, and there's everything is two, right and wrong. And this is saying, no, there's only one. And that's most of the time it's difficult to imagine, but it's a challenge.
Okay, good. So here's the second question. Let's try. What is really true?
But that will be the same, like there is no true. So there is also no really true. When there's separation, like I'm here and there's the world and everything what's going on, everything seems solid and real. So then there's also responsibility and right and wrong and justice maybe and truth. It's an appearance. That's crazy because we never ever questioned that everything is solid and real. So there's no truth.
What is truly free?
Freedom is, everything is freedom. And that's crazy because we always think like there's a feeling of freedom. When there's freedom, it's about the feeling of freedom, feeling free, like a personal thing, like that's a certain state of being someone that feels free. Most of the time it's for a while and then they're starting the search again because it's not always. And this is saying like there is only freedom. Freedom is what it is. The freedom is that it's everything. Everything is it. So there's nowhere to go.
What is this really?
This is everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It can be the floor, can be a feeling, can be a body. And it's an appearance of that. And it's impossible to say how it is or what it is. So they're saying it like it's this, because that's a kind of neutral way of saying it, because everything is neutral. It's not better or worse or right or wrong or awful or nice. It's floor is floor as it is, exactly how it is. And that's with everything. Everything is what is happening, what is.
And that's this.
And that's this.
What is the meaning of being?
There's no meaning. There never was meaning. But when I'm here and I'm living my life and I have to go somewhere because this doesn't feel right and I have to do something, then everything seems to get meaning and importance. So it's on top of what's going on. We adjust to meaning. We add it on what is going on. There is no meaning. Nothing has any meaning. It's what it is. It's curtain or feeling or this. Exactly how it is. And there's no meaning or importance in anything. Only in the story of me and trying to find or trying to avoid what's not liked and find what seems to be freedom or happiness, the state of that, always like that. There's no always.
What's the nature of thinking?
It's what is happening. Also, no meaning and importance in any thought.
What is the true nature of everything and nothing?
That I don't know. There is no. I don't see true nature. There's nothing happening, and in the same time, it's everything. There's nothing, and it's an appearance of walls and streets and feelings. What is? So there's no true nature. That's making up something else on top of what's going on. It's very simple. It's very ordinary. It's nothing special. It's when everything is lost, then it's so natural and so normal and so already what was going on. The only thing what's lost is that whole idea that I can do something with it and I have to do something and what can I make of it, and being busy with it. That's lost. The rest is just already. It was already.
What does neither appear nor disappear?
There's no need for anything. When there's a feeling of I'm here and you're there, there's this feeling of separation and that it's including that there's a feeling of there's something gone wrong. It's not one. There's something missing, or maybe not satisfying. That for everybody it's different in a way. Like there's something not really, or maybe for a while, and then it's still not enough, or maybe, that looks better, and then I would like that, and all that. And that's in the story of me, there's always something going on like that. And suddenly, when that's all lost, it seems like it's not even seen, but it's obvious that there's no need for anything. It's already complete as it is, where there's not about nice or off or happy or all that. It's what is happening. So there's nothing trying to change it. The funny thing is, when there's trying to do something with it, everything seems solid and real and in the story, and I want to go there, and then maybe then I feel better and all that. And okay, and that's what seems for everybody the way to deal with what's going on and to feel better and all that. And when that's all lost, that whole idea that there's something better, I was just in the sauna and I was just sitting somewhere, and I was thinking about myself like I did always, and being busy with that. And suddenly that stopped, that thinking about myself, that being busy with what's going on and all that. Not the feelings or not what the sitting or anything, but that looking at it and being busy with it, trying to feel it or change it or do something with it. That stopped. And then what's left is just what's happening. And that the funny thing is, then suddenly it's like, oh, it's so alive. And that's what I'm looking for. But that aliveness, it was overlooked because I thought it was something over there, and so, but it's already the floor or that hand. It's already that.
Next question. What is always and forever here and now?
Well, that's so complicated question. There's no time. So there's no answer on that. There's no time. That's a construct in how we live. There's a yesterday, or there's like in an hour. What is that? There's this, and that's everything. There's nothing outside. There's nothing before. There's nothing after. That's so the normal way of how we live. There's consequences and because and why. And when there's no time, all that is completely out of the question.
What is unforgettable? What cannot be forgotten? What is unforgettable?
But that's only in the story, forgetting. There's no one, so there's nothing being busy with anything. There's what's happening. That's everything. It's what's happening. Hand, the feeling, talking. It's going nowhere, just answering.
All right. Who are you really?
There's no one. So there is no Rose. That's strange to hear, because then maybe normally we think like there's someone here, this body, and there's someone inside, and maybe there's talking about, oh, there's no me and there is me. So looking for something like, I also won't know me anymore, because it seems like that's solving a lot of problems and feeling more freedom maybe, or something. When I'm saying everything is lost, it's also there's no Rose. That whole construct is a dream. It's not real. So there's those legs can happen, but there's not a continuation. So when there's no time, there's also no continuation. So there's no life of Rose. There's life, and that can be a leg or a floor or a feeling. It's random. There's no continuation. So there's also no life of an individual. That's the dream that a lot of people live in, that it's like that.
Okay.
So you can react. It seems like there are a lot of questions, and you're asking, but maybe there's also a response on what I'm saying. I don't know. You don't need to, but there can also be like that.
This is the last one from a list of 12.
Okay.
And then we can see.
Yeah.
So what is the answer that answers every question?
But there are no answers. That's the joy, because there's nothing to understand. There's no need to know. What this is not knowing. Here, that's crazy to hear. There's no one. There's nothing inside. So everything is lost. There's no one. So this is nothing apparently happening as maybe that body or speaking. And there's no knowing. It's also not clarity. This is not speaking from clarity or from knowing. That when there's talking like this, and it seems like maybe wisdom or clarity or things like that. That can happen, but that's just arising like that. It's not nobody doing that. And when there's walking outside and just like that, and maybe that question, what you're saying, arises, and there's nothing coming. I don't know. It's not carrying wisdom with me. There is no one. And when there's a question, sometimes there's coming an answer like this, or maybe something else.
Let's circle back to the beginning. So when you speak of non-duality, what is non-duality? What that's supposed to mean?
Non-duality means not two. Normally we live in two, like I am here and you, just me and you, or me and the world. Most of the time me and something else, because me seems like the center of everything. Everything's happening to me. The feelings are mine when the circumstances are happening to me. So that feels like that I'm the center. And then there's talking here and then saying, no, there is no me. Me is also something that seems like a lot of complication. It's a lot of trying to find out, because there's somewhere feeling a dissatisfaction and going and need to grow or to find.
Me, I talk a lot about me. I
Yeah.
think about me, you know.
Yeah.
So when we usually talk about me, what can you say something about what we believe the me is supposed to be?
Yeah, it's not only one belief, it's a whole construct of beliefs and concepts about how to survive. It's a survival system, as I see it. It's a survival system because when there's like a 2-year-old, and then before that 2 years, the brain cannot abstract that well. So really little children can't abstract. They don't understand time. They don't know. If you say, get that over there, they don't understand that. So that's funny that the brain cannot process. And then suddenly, then there's that brain can abstract. And then suddenly it's like, oh, when there's a contracted energy, what can happen just like that, like everything else. And suddenly it seems like, oh, there's something over there and something over here. And then they're starting that feeling like, oh, I'm separate from that other person. And there's something going on like, oh, I am not immediately in a child, but in a way, after a while, I have to survive. I have to deal with what's going on, and I have to find what's missing, because it seems like there's something gone wrong.
So when we say me and you, or me and not me, the assumption is there that there's two, so duality.
There's two.
And I guess somehow in between the two, we imagine some sort of line, a division, a separating element of some sort.
Yeah, but there is no two.
Right.
There's no two at all. There is only one. No, when there's the feeling like I'm living in this body, so that's separate from the chair and from there's another body. It's also separated and all that. And like on top of that, there's with humans, there's that idea, feel and belief that there's someone inside what has a free will and choice. So also that is a part of the whole construct, trying to deal with life, which is a complete dream.
The belief is I'm like a dream bubble. I'm in some sort of glass coffin inside.
Yeah.
And anything but me is outside of this glass coffin. But this glass coffin, this dream bubble, is actually not there. That's a belief. That's made of belief stuff.
It's construct. Yeah. But it's so embodied. It's not only a belief. It's so with habits and survival systems. So it's a survival system. So it's not only a belief. It's just going, because it feels like a threat when there's I'm here and there's the world. It's like, whoa, I have to survive here. And so there's a lot of investment in trying to survive.
Then, okay, let's say I want to break free from this bubble wrap dream glass coffin. How can I smash the dream bubble wrap? How can I rip the dream bubble wrap apart?
The awful thing in that way is that there's already no me. So the illusion and the belief that there's me is the belief that there's me is an illusion. It's not real. But you can't think yourself out of it. And that's what we normally, because we're so convinced that I can do something, or what can I do, or how, or what. And they're saying, no, it's not about how or what. There is already no one. So then sometimes it's stuck, because you can't, and then you don't understand anymore. Like, what now? What next?
So let's say it's my hobby. My project is I want to break out from the dream bubble. And now I need to destroy something that doesn't exist in the first place.
No, there's no need for anything, because there's nothing wrong. But when being in that bubble, as you say, then there's a huge feeling, and not only a feeling, but it's so strong. It's like there's something gone wrong. How can I break out? Because that doesn't feel good, and I want something else. And then I say, no, it's not about breaking out. This is already everything. So there's no need to break out.
in the way you said, it comes with a whole belief system. So then, because I believe I'm within something and everything else is outside myself, within, as a side thing that slips in, means also I'm not complete. I'm a part. I'm broken. I'm missing. There's some part of me missing. And so the project then would be to reconcile that, which is an impossibility. Is it a impossibility?
No, there's no, because that's a misunderstanding, that there's something missing. But that's so embodied. It's not only like, oh, okay, I won't do that anymore, because there is no one. So it's a belief system. Well, it's not even so real. It's not always there. So this is completely something that's out of the story. We used to think about our free will and what can I do and not. And this is saying, no, there is no one. So already that free will and choice there is no free will and choice. But on top of that, there's nothing wrong with anything. And that's crazy, because that's not the experience.
So we don't even need to say, the mission would now be to destroy the beliefs. Even that would be part of the belief system.
Yeah, it's the same story again, because there's something wrong and I can do something about it. Or I want to do something about
it. So when you talk about non-duality, and we translate non-duality as not two, does it translate to that all is one?
Everything is already one.
Everything is already one. So
there's only one. There's a feeling, floor. It's a bit like the floor, and it's not only one. Like I am one. It's there's no difference, but there's no border. Let's say like that.
Right. Very good. So so whatever this is. We call it one. But we are so serious about one that there's no possibility for second one, because this one has no border. So it does not stop for a second one to begin.
No. And let's change it. What mean? It's one. It's hand, feeling, something else, but it's singular.
But it's so singular that even counting from 0 to 1 would already.
That's already two. So we live in time. So that's so the normal way of thinking and being in that everything is subtly or stronger in time. And when there's no time, you can't even imagine what that means.
The one boundless, is that timeless?
Yeah.
And what about space then?
Space is like, there's also no boundary. There's no distance, so there's no distance. Here and there.
We can't measure from one to a second point and say
over here and over there, and then we measure that. There's no over there.
The one boundless, timeless, spaceless. Can we squeeze in spaceless?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then already it's like, what does that mean? That's so, in a way, also abstract.
Yes. That's stringing a couple of words together after another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words.
It's very simple. It's sitting, a sensation. It's a glass of water. It's that black thing.
How simple? How can it get simpler?
No, it's the complete simplicity. It's very literally that there's no need to understand, to know. It's that, and that's it. And know why.
Is it so simple that any effort would help me to understand something that it's simple?
No, you can't understand. It's not that. It's more like when there's the effort is suddenly not there, or maybe it's a second or not, and then suddenly, is that what you mean? And then maybe, no, what was that? And then trying to get it, and then already there's something else.
So then, is it overlooked? It's so simple, it's overlooked.
Yeah.
It's
and it's about loss, and that's also overlooked, because when there's a looking for something or getting answers, it's like, where is it? like there and somewhere. And this is like when there's some loss about this is how the world is, and so, you have a lot of beliefs, and then suddenly some beliefs, you think like, how could I believe that? How is that? It's just falling apart because, for what kind of way? And then suddenly it's like, and that's some beliefs can fall apart, and then suddenly it's more obvious that there's already no one. There's no free will. How can we believe there's a free will? How do you even know? And so there's something in that way. So it's the other way around.
Yeah, free will would be I'm on the crossroads and I choose going left or going right, and the whole thing would not work.
No, there's no choosing. There's no chooser. There's going left or right, but there's no one choosing that. And we think there's going left, and we think, I do that, I choose that. No, it's already going. Some science already is saying like the thought I'm doing that is coming afterwards.
So when I think about me, I believe that there is a little homunculus somewhere behind my eyes sitting and pulls levers.
Yeah.
But then we try to find who's pulling the strings. And then we say, we found this person who pulls the strings. And then who's seeing that person that pulled the strings?
Yeah. So we're trying to understand and trying to find, and that's what we used to in all kinds of ways. So we use it also with this. It doesn't work. With this, it doesn't work because it's confirming that there's someone being able to do that. And then when that's not confirmed, it's like, but like that, because you don't know what to say anymore. And then there's something else going on, like, that's now we're talking, because it's not about understanding.
So when I open the mouth, and sound comes out, is that a different thing than when the leaves in the trees?
It's all energy. It's in a different way, of course, but there's no importance. There's nothing more important than anything else. It's only maybe different in that. But it's energy. There's no meaning in energy. It's energy. And because we see it like, there's someone there and there's a story and we can invent and see that. Then there seems a lot of important stories. It's energy, and then it's energy lagging or flooring or thoughting. It's like random. And we make a story of it, like when I'm feeling I'm here. Then the complications start, because I think I want my life to be nice, and then it's not going, and then what can I do, and all the complications and suffering.
When you use the word story, are you use it in the same way others would say it's a dream or a fantasy, is fiction?
Yeah, the story is that I'm able to I'm having a free will and choice, and I'm going toward what I did yesterday, and then what then happened is because of that I did that, and then that's the story. That's what I call a story.
So story is part of the belief, or a result of the belief.
It's a part. Me is the story. When there's that me and I'm here, then there's a story, because it's living in time.
Moves through the story.
Yeah.
In the movie screen.
Yeah, going somewhere, and because there's somewhere, there's that feeling of missing. There's trying to feel better or do the right thing, save the world. Because it's always seeing, and that's the misunderstanding, that there's something gone wrong, or I'm not good enough, or things like that. That's huge misunderstanding, and that's also the suffering, because there's always a drive to make it right.
Right, so the suffering relates to me being locked up, me believing I am something being locked up apart from something else.
Yeah.
And with that can come a pressure, or just being apart, distance, being alone, loneliness, disconnected, locked away because I did something bad or whatever.
And we find reason.
Comes with that.
It's giving meaning to something which hasn't meaning. So the suffering is in the end, there's no suffering, because the meaning is made up, but it's so the normal way.
So then the root of suffering is like a misunderstanding?
Yeah, it's embodied. So it's not only here, it's so embodied, it so feels so, the drive, it can be so strong, not even understanding why it's so strong sometimes.
So I have a slight feeling when I ask you the relationship, something appears to be true.
Yeah.
Right? Like beliefs that people believe in gravity, and this apparently we have gravity, whatnot, and something to be really true.
Yeah.
I have a slight feeling you would not buy into differentiating those two. What appears to be true and what is really true, you would not say left and right.
Yeah. Already. Yeah.
So is there only what appears to be true and nothing else?
But there's no true. There's what is appearing. So it's literally what is. So there can be a sensation or sound or flooring. It's not true. Talking about true is already abstracting.
There's this, and this appears as whatever it appears.
Yeah, sound.
And but that what appears, is it, or it's overlaying what is?
No, that's what is happening. You could say what is happening. Apparently, because it's not real, of course. But yeah, it's can be anything.
So the appearing of whatever appears, this is it.
Is it. And we call it it because that's a kind of neutral word because everything is neutral, so it's not making it into something else. No, it's also not it, of course, but how can you tell? You can't follow it. You can't feel it. It's not, it's trying to feel it. There can be a trying, like, what does she mean? And maybe it's this, or, and that's still that trying, because that's so strong that goes on. And so, and that it's also exhausting because it's an endless trying, and then it's never ending, because it can be in this moment, but also in other things. It's like, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's exhausting. And there can be a moment like, and then, oh, and then suddenly it's there, but because there's no one looking, and then suddenly, but so you can't do this, and that's, because that's what normally you do. You want to, yeah. It's about loss, the loss of everything. Well, how can you do the loss of everything? It doesn't work. It doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
just,
then, when when we usually talk about everything, we mean many things.
yeah.
Multiplicity, this and this and this, and we start counting.
Yeah.
And when we say, well, but it's all one,
Yeah.
we would lose everything in the sense of the counting things.
Yeah.
The multiplicity.
Yeah, that's already a loss of that. Yeah. And it's really going back to a complete simplicity. It's very ordinary, very tiny, not special, ordinary. There's nothing special about this. It's already what's happening, going on, without that jumping on it and trying to understand and why and all that. But that's so the normal way. So we don't even notice that that's so being busy with that. Yeah. And wanting not to be busy is the same thing. That's, yeah.
Okay, so we understand the everything part, multiplicity. Then nothing. What about nothing?
There's nothing happening. There's nothing. And it's in the same time, it's everything. It's an appearance of everything. There's nothing happening.
Is there nothing?
But nothing is not something real. Nothing is nothing. We can't imagine what is not. I can't say what nothing is. It's not some. When they're saying there's nothing, then a lot of times it's making something from nothing. Like, I don't know, something else. But that isn't it.
So what this is, it is, and it's not.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We can say it is.
No, it's an appearance of what is.
It's an
So
appearance
nothing
of
is
what
real. Nothing is real. It's an appearance of like a hologram. You could say like in the desert.
Okay. So it is what appears, the hologram, period.
And it's not.
That's it.
And there's nothing happening, and it's an appearance of but we see it as real and solid and all that. Yeah. And it's like separate, and all that makes like when you understand time, then there's happening a story, and there's another country, and the whole thing starts. It's a dream. It's making up. The brain can abstract everything and making it into a story, and that's happening this, and that's because of that. It's all made up. Life has a meaning. It's light. It's just, and that seems like it's all bodies, and we assume that there's also someone in it, and it's making so much complication because we can so abstract and imagine that. It's that. It's not even, the body is not even real or always there. So it's like you say, it's falling apart. That's what people say. That sounds frightening because there's a huge investment in trying to get on.
Okay, so let's assume the story. I'm inside a glass coughing bubble wrap dream.
Yeah.
I think, what did we say? Glass coughing, glass bubble wrap.
I don't know. Dream.
With the box. Yeah. And yeah, the thing, it's a scam. The thing is a scam. The inside is a scam.
Yeah, it's made up. It's construct. We can make up with our brain. We can imagine all kind of things, and then it's.
So the birth is a misunderstanding.
There's no birth. No. There can be that moment when you see it in that, but the whole belief that there's a beginning and an end is also part of the dream. There's no child.
No beginning, no end, no birth, no death.
No.
No death.
No.
But you can.
There can be a body not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of death and keep birth. You need to get rid of birth. Death and birth.
Yeah, but that's
you can't have either or.
Yeah, but that's in the story. That's the whole story. It's about images like that, and the belief and the experience are so together. So it feels like that. But there is birth. There can be that. That's seeing that child or like that. But that's what is happening. It doesn't mean there's time involved. But that's so invested in, and so the normal way of thinking that it's never questioned, that there may be no time. So it's breaking all concepts and beliefs. There's so many concepts and beliefs. It's so many.
Stacked on top, inside, left, right, inter.
Yeah, and about what's happening in the story, and it's all like that.
If you look a little bit at what humans do, and human history, as the name suggests, human story. Is history storytelling?
It's a story. Yeah. Somebody said his story. I like that. It's his story. It's a story. Yeah. There's no time, so there's no past. No. But it can be all books and all that. It's right, because we want to. It's very much investing in that I exist, because that's really important. Because it's the fear of not being real or dying.
Yeah, so we make up documents. So we make passports and birth certificates and say, well, I do exist because I have it here in writing. It's a signature. The government puts a stamp on it. See, it's really, it's proof.
And
but
it goes
it's made
on.
up. That's
That doesn't mean, if that mean that you exist. No, it's a bookie, a little paper. And the meaning of that and all. Yeah.
It's validated. It's signed by 3 people.
Yeah.
See? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So already they're seeing like some concepts are they're not real. So in that way, they're falling away concepts. But for some people, they're really real. And maybe for you, it's not that real.
If it's not real, it can't really hold up to investigation. So if we really look at anything, we would see it's a bluff.
But when there's someone looking at it, it's that there is some investment in that. So
right. So is it then about looking for who looks?
Yeah, but there's no one looking. And that can be a second of a moment. That's what I call awakening, or not only me. That there's that looking or that being busy, it's suddenly for a moment. It's not always there. It can be for a second. And then suddenly it's like, there's complete, then it's as it is, without all investment and busy and all that. And then it's suddenly like, and then there's that simplicity. It's alive. It's just alive. It's alive. That's what we're looking for, because that's when there's an investment and being in control and trying to, it's a bit dull. It's a bit like, and it's not alive. And you see those little children, they shine, like, what is that? That feeling like passion or all that. So they're looking for that aliveness. But when there's a need for control, and then there's, and I'm living in the street and it's safe and all that, then there's a loss of that aliveness. So that's the struggle. Can be. So it's not about the loss of control, it's about it never was control.
Let's say we write non-duality in the dictionary. What would you like to see? Open up non-duality, we see in the dictionary. What sentence would you like to see next to it? Or quote, or if you would propose a definition according to Rose?
No, there's only one. Something like that. Yeah.
Excellent. It's a very good closing comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time.
Dear friend of philosophy, thank you for joining the Key Philosophy Quest. If you seek more Key Philosophy, visit www.keyphilosophy.com.